make a move and the bunny gets it.
I said, put the bunny back in the box. Why couldn't you put the bunny back in the box?
It's showtime.
Roar. Roar.
Colonel Ironsides here. 200 years I stood in the gap, fighting those who would harm my country. It was my honor, my sacred duty, so help me God. 9 times they took my life. 9 times I stood back up and made them pay. The freedom fighter and I could handle anything, but someone betrayed me. I was ambushed, made mortal, rendered powerless, and retired. They passed an amendment and made me a civilian before I left the hospital. For 50 years, I watched my country change. Watched its work while erasing me from history. The day I quit my job, I powered up and discovered they lied about that too. I'll remind them of freedom. I'll remind them of duty. I'll remind them of their oaths and who they serve. I'll remind them while I'm shoving it down their throats.
Psychically, I'm very well endowed.
YouTube screwing with me a little bit. All right. Hey there. This is Cooper from Telepathic Bunny Comics. No opening crawl today. Once again, I figured out that I didn't have one like last minute and couldn't get it to render in time. But anyway, let me bring on my guest, the guy who everybody really wants to see, Mr. Dave Brink from Genuine Comics. Welcome to the show, Dave.
Hi. Whoa, that was quick. I thought you needed to do your own spiel and then.
Yep.
Right.
Well, yeah, I got a lot to cover with you, so I just
really?
thought I'd go ahead and get into it. Yeah. Hold on a second. Yeah, let me see. I get caught up on comments right quick. As soon as they populate. Mr. Wheel was here earlier. What's up, dude? Hell nerds, freaks, and geeks. Hey.
We have a show with him
Steve?
soon.
Oh, really? Yeah. Cool. Hey there, I just got home. Hey, Wook. What's up, dude?
Wookie.
That's last Saturday. We did a show where I was talking about IPs that I thought might be the next thing coming big in the mainstream, and we brought up Perfect 10, and the guys were very impressed with her assets. You know,
Really?
they were, yeah.
So-
They thought she had a cool
So
look
she
and
was
everything.
she was new to them.
Yeah. They hadn't seen her before, and they were very, very deeply impressed. They thought she was quite the gal. I'll just say that.
Okay. Well, good. You need to make that impression.
Yeah, definitely. One thing I like to do this Best Unsung Creators show is to show my history with the person in question. Start out with this one.
Wow, the first printing.
Yeah, yep. This one's signed.
Wow.
And I actually had 2 copies because I got the tier that had this one in it.
Right. Well,
Power
you got
Trip.
2 copies. That first book is rare now, so you got 2 of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Both of them. One of them signed.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So right there. Got that one signed. There you
Ooh,
go.
look at that! Look at that! Excellent.
Anyway, impressive assets, right?
Cool. B rap.
Yep. Yep. I have no idea what you can mean.
Cool B rap. By the way,
Yeah.
we're streaming against Bancroft, so that's a challenge.
Oh, okay. Perfect assets. Well, Bancroft, if he would just like stick to one schedule like he used to, I wouldn't step on him so much. But
Right.
I'm not stepping on him; he's stepping on me. Let's face it.
Yeah,
he's well over
little guys. The big guys stepping on the little guys, like always, right?
Exactly. But anyway, so this is book one. This is the one I'm going to review, but let me show off some other books I have. So this one, see, that's 4. This is
Okay. I
mm-hmm.
I don't really know what the concept is today, but
Well, the concept is you.
Okay.
The concept is you.
All right.
Well, basically, this show is me pushing the best unsung creators, and you are definitely one of those.
Wow.
So this
Thanks.
is book 2.
Yeah, book 2.
Yep.
Wow. First printing also, cover A. Yeah, excellent.
Yep. This one
The fish is also sold out now.
Yep, this one's also signed. This one here is this is book 3. I got that
Oh,
cover
shit.
on that one. Yeah. And that's book 3.
Yeah.
This one's actually my favorite. Has a really her at her most heroic.
All right.
She pretty much nobody's going to stand with her, so she stands by herself, and she goes after it, and it's a very, very heroic moment in that one. So this is the other 3 I've got. I got another cover. There you go.
Wow. You got both covers. Holy shit.
Yep. And this is a book 4 right here.
Yeah, with the cover by Dan Dahl. That's the C cover.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Also have
Beautiful.
yeah, definitely. I have this one here. This is Heroes and Villains. I have that.
You got that for free? Or
Yeah.
did you buy it later on?
I got it. Basically, I got the tiers with them in it, so I got both of those. I've got the cards and the standee and everything.
Wow. All right. Yeah. All right.
And,
you were there from the beginning.
Yep. Cross Worlds right here. So I got that one.
Cool.
And the reason I got the Cross Worlds is so I could get my my character drawn into your world, and I got it with American Bliss. So it's currently on my campaign. First 100 backers get that copy of that print. And just Ironsides and America Bliss, they just look perfect together.
They're in that book. They're in the gallery. I can't remember.
Oh, no, they didn't make the gallery. They were too late.
Okay.
Yeah, right. You were a little ticked off about that because you were like, "Dang, that's so good looking. I wish I."
Yeah.
Wish
you're breaking up a little bit.
Early enough to be in a gallery. I got it right handy. So let's see. Computer's
breaking up a little
slow,
bit.
Unfortunately.
Or is it me? Am I breaking up?
Let's see here. Yep. Let me find this right quick.
Okay. All right.
1 second.
Bunny doesn't just buy a comic; he invests in it. Yeah, man. It's
right there.
I'm so lucky with all the support. People really come through with these campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
It's yeah. So I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful, guys. Without you, I can't do anything. So thank you so much.
Yep.
Bunny, Bunny, do we have a
give me
delay?
1 second.
I think we have a delay.
Yeah, I do have a delay. Let's see. Just 1 second.
All right. This. Everything's going smooth. Stay here. No one go to bankrupt just yet.
Trying to bring this up.
Wow, it's so warm here, guys. It's warm. I think we have a delay of like 10 seconds or something.
Okay. Let me present. This will be worth it. Trust me.
All right.
And share. There we go.
It's usually Bunny with the connection issues. Yeah, sometimes I you can't really see when you're the one with the connection problems. Look at this art. This is fantastic. Beautiful.
Yep. Yeah, this is the Cross Worlds art. Iron Sides with American Bliss.
Yeah.
They just fit. They just fit together. They really do.
Yeah, thematically it makes sense.
Yep.
It's like the old Patriot and the new Patriot.
And Pal's just incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pal's an incredible artist. I just wanted to see what he did with Ironsides. So it's been impressive. Been warm here in Scotland for a few days. Yeah. And this one here, it's usually Bunny with connection issues. Yeah. Anyway, so not to like kind of like spring this on you, but I usually do on these shows, I usually do kind of a retrospective of the whole series so far and give it a rating. So
okay.
So let me review here. So that's Heroes and Villains. That's the Power Trip one. And okay, here we go. So this is the first one. Miss Perfect 10. This is the origin. Has a lot of Miss Perfect 10 in it. The first time you see her.
Yeah, you see a lot of her. Yep.
You see a lot of her, right? But you know what? It's amazing. I didn't realize that she was naked for over half the comic, but it's just because the story was so good. And you had like panels like that, you know. But you know, Powell's just got a really amazing dynamic style, and this is it kind of introduced a lot of concepts, you know, got the art on the back. But it's one of the best origin stories, I believe, that I've read. You really got the world building, introducing characters, introducing the rules of the world, and you managed to get it all in there without it hurting the story at all. And that's a very deft touch. I was very impressed with that one.
Oh, wow.
And then we get to book 2 here. See which one here. Oh, here we go. This one here, where she kind of like gets introduced to the world at large. And this book is a little more cluttered, I'd say, because you had both villains and a whole bunch of villains introduced, a whole bunch of heroes introduced, and they're all crowded into this one book. I felt like it could have used a few more pages to kind of like spread it out a little bit. But I understand that's your format. And but this one I didn't rate as high on this one. The first one I gave 5 carrots solid. This one would be about a 4.
Oh, right.
but it didn't dissuade me from getting the other books.
What's
it
the
was
maximum? 6 or 5?
So this next one is 3. So the 3 is my favorite because in the 3 has like this really incredible character moment where she really puts her life on the line. She really kind of like shows what she's made of. That cover there's just like really cool. But
that was even the cover that we made later, because the original cover we discarded because before we went to print, I decided to change half the book.
Right.
The cover didn't make sense no more, so we had to change the cover also.
Right. This one had like just some of the most like really incredible panels in there.
Oh yeah.
You know, it really kind of like it put her kind of like right in the kind of like the den of the bad guys, you know, and you know, where she had to fight her way. But it did have like one really brutal moment that was very memorable, a character that I kind of dug. A lot of people kind of dug.
Yeah, a lot of people.
a lot of people were kind of upset with you on that one.
Yeah, well, I got a few complaints. Yeah. Brian Christgau, welcome, sir. Hi.
Yeah. Well, welcome, Brian. Yep. What's your favorite flame broiled bird? It's so hot here. The bird burst into flames. Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, he happens to live in Arizona, so I keep reminding him, you live in a desert, dude. Okay. You know, I mean, I can only like, you know, I can only like go so far as to feel sympathy for you. You know, you choose to live in a desert. It's going to be a little. As a matter of fact, I always play this every time he complains. Anyway, so that's the third one, and the fourth one, which is the latest. You know, it's not the one you're currently campaigning. Which, by the way, it's the link is pinned in the chat. But this one here, had a lot of exposition. I mean, a lot of exposition. Yeah. So, and I understood it. I understood why you needed it, because you did have a lot of backstory, kind of like flashbacking going on.
Well, when you think about it, that particular it's technically only
that's a lot of exposition there.
It is, but it's technically 2 pages, right? With the flashback, and then you have a little bit leading up to that,
right?
So it feels like a lot of exposition, but
you did make up for it with that splash there.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow, that's such a cool book.
Splash. But yeah, I honestly that one. It's you're kind of like a little bit like Star Trek in that, you know, Star Trek, like the even numbers seem to be, or the odd numbers seem to be better than even numbers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but that's not saying that that's a huge drop off, because it kind of goes. One was really incredible, deft touch. You know, great. And this number 2 was a lot of characters were like crammed into one place, and it kind of got a little bit lost there. And 3 kind of came back and kind of like gave me the action, gave me the kind of the movement that I wanted. And then 4 was a little bit more exposition than I would have liked, but you know, it's like, so one's a 5, 2 is a 4, 3 is a definite 5, and 4 I would go back to 4 with that. But that's not that. That's still very high. Still very high. And so I'd say for the whole thing so far, I would give it a
Well, that's thanks. Thanks, man. That's cool.
Yep. So it's definitely one of my favorite books. I back every time I see it. I pretty much back. Didn't get the artist edition. The artist edition just seemed more art oriented, and I'm more story oriented. So
Right. Yeah.
I don't
Well,
usually
you
get
have the
those.
story. Basically, it was basically a version of the first issue, only stretched out completely with extra art and like
right.
notes with it and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's you gringos wouldn't make it here. You're a gringo.
Gringos.
Please. Anyway, so I this is like one of my favorite series, but I would say that the protagonist is probably has more esteem. I have more esteem for the protagonist than I probably do the series. And the reason I say that is because that character just has you plug that character in anywhere, and she's going to make whatever she's in better. I mean, she's just that good of a character. The fact that you got that mix of devastating assassin, superhero powers, but then you mix that with this innocence and this determination to make up for something she doesn't even remember.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives her like this reckless edge, because all her value is found in making up for this great wrong.
Yes.
That she doesn't even remember. And so she can't really determine just how much she needs to pay for this. And and because of that, she'll just dive straight into a big crowd of villains, and whether people are behind her or not. And it just puts her in, I mean, you're like rooting for her the whole time, but man, it put her in the deep end a lot.
Yeah.
I'd say
she's
the first 4
she's
books,
just lucky. She's just lucky that she has this healing ability, because without that, she would have been gone from the first issue, right?
Oh yeah. And it's just her relationship with Virgil is just her father figure is I get the feeling that maybe he used his wife's genes when he made her, because he keeps referring to her as family, and his wife died of cancer in the first book, and that's how he got involved with the project in the first place. And then but he feels paternal towards her, and feels more of a connection to her than you would think he would. It's kind of like a father-daughter thing, and it's a really great relationship, and it's the core relationship for the book, and it's a very good one. And but the framing device that you use for this whole book, and it's we're 4 books. It's just 4 books in, and we're still like within the first couple of days, and so everything's kind of like compact storytelling, but she's still trying to she's still she's new to this world. She's still trying to find her place in it, and it's just a great series of books. 5 is currently campaigning right now on Indiegogo. The link is over there in the chat, and I haven't backed it yet. Hoping that you come to FMC, hoping. I think I'll hold off until I see it at FMC. If not, I'll back it on davebrink.com, because I'm not going to back it on Indiegogo. Indiegogo can go suck a D. But that's just me. They screw with my friends too much for me to support that website. But it is what it is. I know the commerce is commerce, and you gotta go where you feel the money most of the money is, and most people feel that's on Indiegogo, and I'm okay with that.
It is more a out like it's more practical with all
Right.
the add-ons. I have so many books, right? And
Yeah.
so that's the main thing, the main reason.
Mhm.
I am thinking about expanding this to a Fund My Comic, but I have to keep it smaller there. So you
Right.
won't have all the things that you have on IGG.
Right. Right. Well, Fund My Comic does have a little ways to go. It's still a brand new website, and
Absolutely, yeah.
he's still like expanding their capabilities. I think the big thing that he's working on right now, which will bring him right up with IGG, is the integration of being able to give updates directly to the mailing list, and which is something that IGG has that Fund My Comic doesn't currently have. But he's
Complicated,
yeah. That'll definitely probably improve a lot of things. But at the same time, this book series, it's one of my top book series that I follow. As you see, I got everything.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you, man.
Yeah, I mean, I got a stack of stuff from Hybrids, and I pretty much back every cover of Hybrids and stuff like that. And Shadow Century is the other one that I back a lot. Anything Shadow Century puts out, I pretty much back. And Perfect 10, those are my big series that I really follow. And so what is what do you think that would happen if you ever got a shot at publishing more mainstream numbers? What would you do with that?
You mean when Perfect 10 gets picked up by a publisher and I get like paid to make these books, right?
Or Genuine Comics ever like breaks big enough that it becomes a publisher large enough to be considered a mainstream producer?
All right. Well, then I would technically be able to up the frequency of output. That would be great. The problem is I myself I'm not a fast writer, so I probably couldn't keep up with much faster pace. So
I feel that. I definitely feel that. Yeah.
So maybe once per 2 months a new issue or something. And I already told Pau that if we ever make this breakthrough, I will take Pau with me. I promised him, Pau, I'll take you with me, brother. So yeah, so he will stay on it, and I would love to then, when I get the option, because right now I really need to pick which titles I'm going to do. After 10, for instance, I have to make some sort of plan. But if given the chance, I have so many concepts and characters, and I would make more books, and I would probably hire other people to help me with that.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, so I would.
I need to kind of give people an idea of what you mean by that. So this is just one of your books here. This is the great pinup right there. Yep.
Oh, cool. Yeah. But I would definitely bring over people from the indie sphere.
Yeah, we're talking about all these are individual characters that he's got here. This is like we're talking like this dude has a universe here. Okay, this is the splash page I wanted. Of course, one of these is not alive anymore. Damn you. But but it's just I mean, that's just giving people a kind of an idea of the kind of the kind of like numbers you'd be pushing. You got your duos, you got your small teams too. But yeah, one thing that kind of like I really was amazed by is it's just the sheer the sheer amount characters that you've created, and I assume you have backstories and you have bios and on all these characters that you're just not throwing stuff out there.
Yeah, most of them. Some of these characters that are featured within the art book that you showed, they aren't ready for a comic.
Right.
But they have like the visuals done. I have the concept done, but when I want to use them, they need some more work.
Yeah.
And I have a list of like 200 characters, and I think about 50 I can actually use. They are ready to go, right? And
200. Wow.
Yeah, but about 200 ideas, right? So just like basic. It's and then from that maybe 50 that I can actually use. And for instance, when I started when I was thinking about Perfect 10 issue 4, so leading up to that, I needed 2 characters for the final scene that leads up to issue 4, and it just happened that I had this gorgeous and grotesque duo, and they were perfect for it. So it really helps when you have a back catalog with characters that you worked out. You're like, you know what, this one fits there perfectly, so you don't have to create everything from scratch.
Well, it's I find that I think stories are kind of like pre-existing artifacts, and so when I usually, as soon as an idea comes to me, I put it down. As soon as like a character comes to me, I put it down, and I kind of like exist, exist kind of like as a puzzle piece, and just like when you do a puzzle, you're like, oh, I have that corner piece, or oh, that I know what fits in that, that what fits there, and I'll find scenes that I wrote, like it comes to me, and sometimes it'll come to me in a scene, or sometimes it'll come to me in a character bio or something, and then suddenly I'm like, oh, that's where it goes. And I don't know if you're like that.
Just
way,
clicks.
But, yeah, and it's great. And I don't know where, I mean, wherever creativity comes from, wherever the storytelling comes from, and I like an artist just as much as anybody else. I love artists. I love watching them work. But the thing about it is something that writers have that artists don't, unless they also write, is that we're a little bit closer to the source, in that while the art, it takes a lot of concentration, and it takes some time. Writing is almost closer to the fount, and there's a lot of information coming at you when it's really coming at you hot, when it's really coming in fast. And you don't know where all this stuff fits, but you just get it down as you get it down as it comes to you. And it's like I was commissioned to do a story the other day, and suddenly I knew the last thing that happened, and then the story kind of built backwards from there.
All right, that's a good way to do it.
But sometimes it comes to me forward, sometimes it comes to me back, sometimes it comes to me non-linear, and we're like my current first book of community service. It's a little difficult to get it together because it's non-linear, and so figuring out what goes where, and what happens later, where it will fit. What can I allude to here? And
it kind of makes sense for your story, because you jump around between times, right? So it makes sense that what happens in every timeline.
Right. But also right now I'm doing something really fun. I'm figuring out what Easter eggs I can put into panels, for later on, because when the whole entire shape of the world, you can like figure out, okay, how much do I show? How much do I reveal? book 4 had a big backstory that you put in there, but it didn't feel like it was out of place because you'd alluded to several things and earlier on in the other books. A name kept coming up, and then you're like, oh, you want to know who this guy is? Boom.
Right.
It's like, oh, okay, so that's the guy.
That's my favorite thing, sprinkling in little
Right.
things that foreshadow future issues. I love that, man. So this means that you actually thought about things, and it pays off. You shouldn't just introduce something out of the blue,
right?
When you can hint at it beforehand.
Well, that kind of annoys me, but when I either I'm watching a movie or a television show, or I'm reading a comic, and somebody like introduces something with no preparation, where there's no foreshadowing, there's nothing that happened earlier in the book that even indicated that this was possible, and then boom, just as a plot contrivance, they just shove it in there, and that Shane Davis did that in a book, and I've never forgiven him for that. But I'm like, you could have gone back. You had the time. You're the artist. You had the time to go back, and you could have like fixed this. But you just put out this product with this big gaping hole in it, where you just like, okay, let me change the rules of my world because I wrote myself into a corner here. You know. And
that's a good way to lose readers.
Yeah. It's like, get a freaking editor, dude. Get a freaking editor. I swear. The first book he put out had this narrative complexity, and there's several times where something was alluded to early on that paid off. So I know he can do it if he was the one that wrote that book. And so it just annoyed the crap out of me. I saw him at the Comic-Con that I went to, and met him for the first time, and I was so tempted to ask him, but he was just like in the middle of something, and I was like, I'm not going to ask him, but I'm not going to ambush the dude at the Comic-Con. But I was just like,
it really depends.
I was like, what's that?
It really depends also on the genre or the style, because some genres, it's part of the genre. You see this in manga that they don't really foreshadow things,
right?
So you have like what's it called? Holy shit! Oh yeah, Dragon Ball, right? For instance, right? So so they fight, and then suddenly someone has his power that's never been mentioned.
Right? Exactly. They do that in My Hero Academia too. It's one of the reasons I stopped watching My Hero Academia. I was like, okay, you set up this limitation, and then you just blew by that limitation. Okay, this dude is supposedly on his last legs, and you just had him like just show a mega ton of power, and then he's still alive, he's still standing. It's like, this wasn't his final.
That's a trope within like manga and anime, and for some reason people accept it there, but you can't really do that with American style books.
No, you can't. But to me, I mean, I know it's the style now, and everybody loves manga, everybody loves anime, but to me, it's lazy. It's like you set up like his limitation, and you made this person mortal, and you made them like interesting, because they can't do what they used to do. But then you just like arbitrarily give them like that power level back, and then you don't have any kind of consequences for it, and it's just like, why did you even set that up? It's always been freaking annoying. Hold on one second. Let me
Frost. Hello.
Get this comment in. Frost, what's up, Dave? What's up, Bunny? Anybody makes beyond 3 issues in indie comics doing something right. So many people get checked at issue 2. Yeah, no doubt. Cruel said the last thing I wrote was my previous comment. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. He's Scottish. He's Scottish. What can
this
I
is
say?
so true. Frost.
They're
comics.
special.
I can't even believe that I'm at issue 5. I can't believe it myself. It's crazy.
Well, not only are you at issue 5, but you've managed to keep a consistency from book to book to book. That I've had issue 2s that just completely, kind of took a dump, because they spent so much time on that first issue making sure that was perfect. That when especially when they're successful in that first issue, it's like the second issue, they're like, oh, I got carte blanche, they're going to back it no matter what.
Yeah.
And then the second issue is like junk. And there's several big creators that have done that. And I'm like, no, thank you.
It's really nerve-wracking to follow up a story that's well liked. So you come up with the sequel, and then people have certain expectations, and you don't want to let people down. And with every campaign, with every new book, I'm nervous about that, man. I'm just trying to keep the level, to keep the quality high.
Well, what really helps you? What really helps you is that you started with the right character, and that's one thing about Ironsides that my character that I'm very grateful for is that he's strong enough to carry the story. He's strong enough to carry this story on his back, and my biggest problem is that is trusting that you have trusted this story to your protagonist, and that that people are going to follow her adventures and follow her through wherever she goes, because you've made a character that's so compelling, visually as well as personality wise, and as well as narratively, that you can put a lot of weight on her back, and she's going to be able to carry it. And if you don't, if you got characters in those books that kind of capture people's imaginations, you can get away with books not being quite as good, and know that the people are going to be there. Have you ever read any of Harry Dresden series?
No.
From Jim Butcher?
No.
Well, he's got this great character. It's like a modern day wizard named Harry Dresden, and I've got the whole entire book series up to the last one that's still due later on this year. But I followed him through a lot of changes. Followed him through in some books that weren't as good as others, but I followed him the whole way because the character, to me, I'm following the person more than I'm following, and I'm like visiting with this person that I like.
Yeah. And
so the venture's kind of gravy at that point. I'm getting another chance to be with the person that I like.
Right.
And I see a lot of books where they went after visual spectacle and they didn't give me a character to like. And so I'm ambivalent. It's beautiful. Yeah, it's wow, what an artistic achievement. But then I'm sitting here and I'm like, the next book comes out and it's take it or leave it. I don't care if I visit that world. I don't care if I visit that person anymore. Yeah. I don't. To me, that's the secret of having a series like you've got, is having that person or that character that intrigues you enough that you want to know what happens next to them.
Sure. Well, yeah, I need to write it, so I need to latch on to the character also. I need to like the main character, otherwise I don't really feel motivated to even write it.
Right. Right.
Plus, when you have a character that so first off, you need a character that has this is a layered character that has an actual personality and a drive and a motivation, and that also drives the story, so it makes writing easier, right? Plus it gives you something to care about. And if you care about it as the writer, then maybe the reader cares about it also.
Well, you're the first reader, and so if you don't care about your characters, why is anybody else going to care about your character? You know,
Right. Yes.
And also one of the things that I notice when a writer really gets into their character, really starts understanding their character and really enjoying the writing process, is that the story will like have little sidelines or have little like idiosyncrasies built in, or you know, have little things like, you know, little jokes that they'll tell or in jokes that kind of crop up. There's a lot of variety there. There's like a intricacy. There's more like nuance to it, you know.
Right.
If
By the
somebody's
way,
like going from A to B, yeah. So if somebody's just
Sorry.
going from A to B and they don't really care one way or another, then they're just going to write plot point to plot point to plot point to plot point. You know? But nobody. It's more realistic if the plot is like something that happens to this person while they're living their life. You know, there's like a relationship that might crop in that they're having issues with, but they still got the plot. The plot is what's happening while this is going on. You know.
Do you prefer that, or don't you prefer that?
Oh, I do prefer that.
Okay.
Now, not to the extreme that Stephen King goes, where he doesn't even have a plot. You know.
No.
And,
He starts with a cool idea,
right.
and then he starts to write it. And the same with I watched the show From. I started to watch the show From.
Mhm.
I don't know if you know it.
Doesn't sound familiar.
It's basically about this little town. People get there in the town. They don't know where it is, but once you arrive, you can never leave. And at night there are like monsters, so everyone needs to stay inside and that kind of thing. But I'm afraid when I watch the series that the writers don't know where they're going. So they put in all these mysteries, which are interesting, but
it's called mystery box writing. Yeah,
it will never be resolved.
That's one thing that J.J. Abrams does that drives people crazy. He did it in Lost. Lost was especially bad for this.
Lost. From is like the modern Lost. Yeah.
Gotcha. Right. Yeah. Eventually, you got to wrap it up. You know, eventually, it's got to be headed somewhere. You know, you can get really bogged down on that.
Miss Good Stuff.
One second. Miss Good Stuff says, "Hey guys, go 10." Yep.
By the way, I had a backer.
You know, one thing that. Go ahead.
I want to thank someone who's watching right now. I have a backer. Thank you so much, guys. Excellent. Thank you.
Well, I got a bird I can flip. Let me go ahead and flip them the bird right quick. Here we go. This is my version of flipping the bird. So there we go.
That poor bird. It looked terrible.
Yeah, but he was giving it, wasn't he?
Yeah, he had fun.
Well, since Nerd Bacon's no longer on the air, somebody's got to maintain that, so I'm keeping the bird flip.
Yes.
So there you go. Anyway, but yeah, you know what? One thing about that is when you're building something, like you're building with your genuine verse. Basically, you know, some people like they just build from like the story. You know, the story is pretty much self-contained, but if you can like create a universe, then the story possibilities are endless, as endless as the amount of people that are going to be in this universe, and as endless as the amount of situations that are going to be in this universe. And you definitely have a genuine universe. as a writer, I know it well enough that I could probably write in the genuine universe. You know.
Hey, maybe someday you should.
Well, I did write something for hybrids, but unfortunately, you know, Luke kind of got this website thing going, and he kind of got a little distracted.
Oh no!
He says it's going to be in his next arc, but we'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
No, just you know, man. I with the Power Trip series, there are stories in there that someone wrote like 4 years ago, and
Right.
but I need to find the right time.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, this newest campaign has this Power Trip 2, right?
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah. Well, the first Power Trip was really cool. Introduced some new characters, had some interesting stories in it. So Power Trip 2 is definitely going to be something that I back. You know,
Great.
I'm definitely going to go with 5. You kind of left Miss Perfect 10 in a bad way, so I got to see where that kind of resolves itself a little bit. You got the cliffhanger, you know.
Yep.
And you made me care, and then you gave me cliffhangers, so I'm gonna have to get the next book.
I got you there.
It's kind of like, you know, it's just, you know.
Well, yeah, but
Right.
you can't. You need to deliver also when you end something with a cliffhanger like that. Like for instance, that I did with issue 3. That was a huge cliffhanger. And I was like, holy shit! So for issue 4, people expect something now, right? And then it kind of went a different way. So I was scared that maybe people wouldn't really be on board, right?
Right.
And to me, it was fantastic. But you never know how people respond to it, right? So now this time. Again, we have another cliffhanger, and it needs to deliver with issue 5.
Right.
So yeah.
Well,
we're trying.
Looks like I'm seeing this other character kind of like showing up a lot more on covers and stuff like that. So it looks like you're getting a co-lead kind of coming into the series. Be interesting to see where she goes. Let's see. Oh, I had her somewhere. Anyway, it's a lady with a really nice headgear. I knew I had some.
Oh yeah, Calamity. You mean Calamity?
Calamity, right?
Yes.
Right. Yeah, I couldn't remember her name for some reason. I reread the books today. This lady right here in the back.
Yeah, the main bad guy. Yes, the bad.
Yeah. Well, she kind of like did a little bit of a shift to anti-hero that last book. So I'm assuming that she's going to be kind of like a co-lead going forward. That's my speculation. She seemed to get a lot of time, so I'm assuming that she's going to start sharing some of the plot lines.
This also interesting when you write something. Then I know the readers, they are smart, right? They think along with you with the story. So I try to write in such a way that they can't predict things, but you never know. You know, you never know because you want to still surprise people without disappointing them. And if you
there's there's such a thing as like they call it something expectations. What do they call that? Subverting expectations. But you can do that and not tick people off.
Yeah.
You know, when you subvert expectations, and it feels like an FU. You know, where you're like, oh, you want this, I'm not going to give it to you. You know, that's one thing. But if you're like, you think it's going here, but it went here. That's the difference. Yeah, that's different.
You still need to give people what they want, but maybe you have to give them something else or something that they didn't know that they want, right?
Exactly, right. And but that's all part of the toolkit, you know. And like I don't really know where this is going. Okay. Now, most
Good.
of the time, by I get to book 4, I would know where this is going. But to be honest, I have no idea where this is going. That's one of that's a compliment. That's not saying that you
No,
didn't sit. I
I know.
I can see that we're heading in a direction. I'm just saying. But I'm not entirely sure what the destination is, and that really intrigues me. Doesn't normally happen, especially when I know somebody's a good writer like you. I know it's going to go somewhere and it's going to come out somewhere, that makes the
try.
journey
Oh,
worth it.
God. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it does. And so I can kind of like see the shape of that there's going to be a big like left turn coming up. I can kind of like feel that on the wind, and I'm really intrigued to see what exactly that is, what you got in store. And that this is just a great series. I highly recommend it to anybody. Usually when I'm asked what's the best series that I can pick up, and I usually point in the direction of Perfect 10 or Hybrids, because both of those have multiple books that people can pick up, and they can start on the ground level and go somewhere. I usually don't point to one book series when somebody wants to get into something, and your book having so many stories already, so having so many characters, having so many storylines that you've got floating around, just makes it easier to point people in a direction. Oh, I got a universe for you. I don't just have a story; I have a universe for you if you want to get into that universe. It's very very impressive. You're a heck of an architect. I've patterned patterned several things that I've done with my book after your things that I've seen you do. I think you're very aspirational for me.
Oh,
And,
thank you so much, man. Wow.
Not blowing smoke. You see, I'm a customer, so I'm not blowing
Yeah.
smoke here.
Yeah. No, but
Mhm.
that's crazy. That's crazy that people. I'm still learning myself.
Mhm. Right.
I'm still trying to get better with each issue. And it's every issue still is difficult. I find writing pretty difficult.
Mhm.
So, but the end result, you shouldn't see it from the end result, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's like I was saying the other day to Mr. Frost Comics. I was complimenting him on the fact that I think he's one of the smartest people I know, and he's like, "Well, I'm not that smart," and I was like, "Well, if you thought you were smart, you wouldn't be the smartest person I know. One of the smartest people I know. It's the knowing that there's more things to learn is basically the beginning of knowledge. Knowing that I haven't arrived at my ultimate form makes you strive, makes you practice, makes you read other people's works to try to pick stuff up, and it just makes you improve, and you're in a constant cycle of improvement. People that think that they have arrived don't ever go anywhere.
Mm.
And so the fact that insecurity is something that can destroy you, or it can make you better. It just depends on what you do.
It can be the motivator.
It can
be a motivator to keep the pressure on, right? So,
right.
To not get into this flow, like churn out books, and so constantly strive to impress people. That's my goal. I want to.
Well, it's like Michael Jordan said. He went out every night wanting to be, and he would like give himself challenges. What's the score of this building, or that guy over there, is he better than me? I'm going to pit myself against this person. And this guy's considered the best basketball player that's ever lived by most people. And this is somebody that like took that feeling of insecurity and just made it and just honed his gift because of it. Larry Bird would always check Magic Johnson's box score, and he had to beat him there. He so every night he would like strive to be better than Magic Johnson. So when Magic Johnson was gone, he retired because he didn't have that motivation anymore. And
oh, really?
yeah, but it's a great like documentary called we're talking about their friendship, but it's a courtship of rivals is what the name of it is. But it's a great. But if I don't read somebody that's better than me and challenges me to be better, then I'm going to think I'm doing pretty good. And that's one thing when I ask, what are you reading? What are you looking at? Who are you absorbing? And if somebody tells me, well, I don't read anybody, I'm like, well, then you probably suck. Because,
right.
It's like if you take a chef and just give them like basic ingredients, they're going to make a basic meal. But if you take a chef and you give them a whole lot of different ingredients, and put them in the same kitchen, then they're going to make you something really, truly special. And so you got to have those ingredients. You got to have that desire to create something better. And I see that in you. This world that you're building has got so many stories possible. And I'm ready to live there. Anytime a book comes out.
You're welcome to come live there.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So though I think I'd probably get killed within the first few minutes. It's not a hospitable world, but there's plenty of bad guys in it. But that's I just want to, I made a commitment that I'm going to start pushing creators that I respect, creators who I think people should know, that people should support, people should invest in. And you were top on the list, and it just took me this long to get you on. So I got a few. I'm loving this series. So I think that Genuine Comics is what's next, and I'm there for it. Happy to be in on the ground floor of something I think is truly going to be special.
Wow, and I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Anyway, that's been Cooper for Telepathic Bunny Comics. I know Mr. Brink has more shows he's got to do, so I'm going to let him get on with that.
Not now. I'm going to bed now, so not now.
Okay, well, yeah, it is pretty late there.
Wrangler.
But yeah.
Hi, Wrangler.
Hey, Wrangler. Wrangler always comes in the last minute. He always comes in the last minute. It's like, hi, Wrangler. Bye, Wrangler. Yeah. So I was saying my goodbyes before you showed up, Wrangler. This is not because of you, okay? No. Anytime you're kind of like a victory cigar. I see you, I'm like, oh, okay, time to wrap up the string. It's him or woke breaker. It is what it is. But anyway, that's been good for Telepathic Bunny Comics here with Mr. Dave Brink from Genuine Comics. All his bona fides are in the description. If you want to check out that comic campaign, it's over there in the description or the chat. It's pinned, but the link's also down below. So check that out. Glad you got another contributor tonight. Let me see one more last comment before we go. They bring that up. Come on, StreamYards. Show me the comment. Where we at? Let me look here.
Wrangler saying he just got home from work.
Just got home from work. Okay. All right. Well, that's no need to bring that up. All right. Well, no big deal. No big deal, man. Maybe we can get you back earlier next time. All right. So that's been cool for Telepathic Bunny Comics here with Mr. Genuine Dave Brink from Genuine Comics, and we'll see you next time. Follow the White Rabbit. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Also check out Genuine Comics channel. He does a great show on Sundays. With other contributors. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.